Or in other words, what is the building block of an organism's body? The cell. That's absolutely right. Cells make up the bodies of all living organisms. How many cells do you think an organism needs to live? 1, 2, hundreds? Well, now that depends on the organism we are talking about. An organism like amoeba is made up of only a single cell. Yes, you heard it right. Just one single cell constitutes the body of an amoeba. This cell carries out all the functions of this organism's body, be it respiration, digestion, locomotion, and excretion. What about a cat or a dog? Do they have a single cell? Of course they don't. They have many cells which make up their entire body. There are groups of cells which carry out different functions. For example, all cells of type A will carry out the function of respiration, and cells of type B will carry out the process of digestion. But what are these groups of cells called? Do they have a specific name? Yes, each cluster of cells is called a tissue, and each tissue carries out a specific function. Such organisms with many tissues are called multicellular organisms. Multicellular organisms have tissues in their bodies which are placed at specific places to carry out specific functions. This is called division of labor in the organism's body. Can you give me a few examples of tissues in the human body? The muscles? Yes, the muscles are tissues that help movement by contraction and relaxation. What about blood? Do you know that blood is a tissue? Yes, blood helps transport nutrients, hormones, and waste materials as well. Blood is the connective tissue of the human body. Let us look at plants now. Do you think plants have tissues too? Are the tissues of plants and animals similar? Do you think plants need the same tissues as humans? Logically, they do not have the same tissues as humans do, but they do have tissues. Let us see what the considerable differences between the two are. Do plants move from one place to another like humans do? No, right? Plants are stationary and their movement is restricted. So a closer look at a plant tissue will make you realize that most of them have dead tissues. Yes, dead tissues. And why do you think plants need dead tissues? The answer is quite simple. Plants only need mechanical support. Hence, they do not need living tissues. Dead tissues serve the purpose of giving support to plants and they need very little maintenance. What about animals? Do animals move? Yes, animals move from place to place and they need tissues for purposes more than just physical. Almost all tissues in animals are living tissues. These tissues need nutrition which they get from the organism's body. What else could be a possible difference between the two? Do you know that there are two types of tissues in plants? One type of tissue divides throughout its lifetime, while the other type of tissue does not have the ability to divide. What is the purpose of such a differentiation? Well, plants do not grow uniformly throughout their body. Their growth is restricted to some specific parts. In these parts, we find the tissues which can divide. On the other hand, there are parts which do not grow beyond a specific limit. They have the non-dividing tissues. Can this apply to the human or the animal body? Of course not. Humans and animals exhibit uniform growth throughout their body. Therefore, animals have tissues that divide spread throughout their body parts. They do not have these two types of tissues. In our further videos, we shall look at what these tissues are called as well as the characteristics of each type of tissue.